creating an object, by default, the object can be transferred from one user to the other, from one person to the other. So when an object is created, like I said, it can be transferred by default. So, but in this lesson, we are going to learn how we can disable that functionality from from the object, so that we or toggle it off or toggle it on. So now let's look at the example on how we can achieve that. So we are importing the standard library, the standard from the standard library. We are importing the object, and we are this define the error in the that we'll be using in the smart contract. This is the access card that will store the transfers that will enable us to either um, enable the transfer or disable the transfer. So now let's write the function. So in this function, we just declared the function signature, and in this function, declare the name of the function, accepting three. We're having three parameters: the caller, the person that will be calling the function, the address of the caller, and we'll be accepting two boolean. One, this transferable will be indicating if the um, object can be transferred. If it is yes, then we'll see what will be done next. Then same thing with this controller. So now we are retrieving the caller address using this signer tools to retrieve the caller address. We created the object here. We are creating the object here, and it's stored within the constructor ref. Then we generated a signer for the object by passing the constructor of the object into the generate signer tools to generate a signing key for the object. Now we are generating the transfer ref. Like I said, the transfer ref is like the access card that enables us to toggle the transfer ability on or toggle it off. So if it is we toggle it on, it means the object can be transferred. But if it is toggled off, it means the object cannot be transferred. So we are using this generate transfer ref to generate an access card that will enable us to do that. So when I mean access card, it's just like saying the access control. Easy understanding. That's why I'm using the word access card, but we are generating transfer ref. Then after generating transfer ref, we checked if the transferable, which was passed from in this our perimeters, if the transferable is false, that means we are saying if the transferable being passed is false, we are disabling the ability for to be able to transfer the object. That's what is happening here. So if the transferable is false, not true, the object is being disabled. That means we're not allowing it to be transferred. If the controller is true, we are moving the transfer ref into this object controller resource, and we are storing it within the objects. So if the controller is true, we are initializing the variable within this resource. You, then we are moving it into the objects. Now in this function, we want to toggle the transfer on or off. So we are passing in the object and we are passing in the caller. or the signer address. Then retrieve the we retrieve the caller address for using the signer tools. Then after that we are checking. That's what this assert is doing here. We are checking if the person calling the function is the same with the person that published the smart contract. If the person is not the same, if it's not the same person, it will throw an error, not publisher. So after retrieving the caller's address, we use the caller's address to check if the address is the same with the one that published the smart contract. If it is not the same, the function stops here and throw an error. But if it is the same, it continues. Now, if it is the same, it continues. Then we checked for the address of the object. We check for the address of the object and retrieve the address of the object and store it in within this object address. We use the object address to access to get to access the we are accessing the object controller resource within the object where we store the transfer ref. So we are accessing the object controller resource. Remember, we store the transfer ref inside the object controller resource, which we stored. And remember, we store this resource within the object. So with the help of this address, we're able to locate the object and also locate the resource, object controller resource within the object, and also get the transfer ref from the resource within the object. After retrieving the transfer ref, we we said is if the object transfer is allowed. If the object is allowed to transfer, we toggle it off. We disable it, toggle it off. If S, that means it's not allowed to transfer, we toggle it on. We enable it. So we enable it and we disable the transfer. So in this if block, we are saying if it is allowed, transfer is allowed, we said disable the transfer. If it is not allowed, we'll enable it. So this is how we can toggle off and toggle on the transferability of an object. Video helpful and you've gained a lot of knowledge from this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button so that the video can reach more persons that will benefit from it. Thanks for watching.